Right, question 5. A band is recording their new song. They need to consider the sample rate and sample resolution of their recording. Okay, so we've got two keywords here, sample rate, sample resolution. Let's see what they're going to ask us about those. Okay, part A. Give one benefit of using a higher sample rate to record the song. So the more samples that we take, the better the quality of the song that we're storing. So they, after us sort of writing that up in some way, so song will sound better and closer to the original. Give one drawback of using a higher sample rate to record the song. So any question where you're talking about making something better quality, which is essentially what we're doing, we're storing more data. So one drawback is that the file size is going to be larger, meaning that more data is going to be stored. So either of those is going to be fine for this. File will be larger. Okay, describe what's meant by sample resolution. Okay, so the sample resolution is the number of bits that we need to store each sample. That's what it is. Its definition: number of bits for each sample. Now they want 2 marks here, so they want a little bit more than that. So if we just have a quick look at what that means. So there's our sound here, and what we do is we take our samples. So those are our samples, and we can have samples going down here as well. Each of these samples will be a binary number that will be a certain number of bits. So for example, that one could be 000, for example 001, and so on. So what these samples are doing, if you look, they are defining the height of the sound wave. So what is meant by sample resolution? So it's the number of bits we need for each sample. And what does it do? It defines the height of the sound wave. So we could say something like each sample defines the height of the sound, you could say, sound wave. I think that will do, but we could add at a particular time as well, as it sort of moves along in time, but that's fine. So what's meant by sample resolution? It's the number of bits we need for each sample. Each sample defines the height of the sound wave. We'll look at the mark scheme in a second and see how that might compare. Right, the band wants to compress the sound file, but they do not want any data to be permanently removed. Identify the compression method that should be used. So if we want to keep the data, we don't want to lose any data, then we're going to have to use lossless compression, which means we don't lose any data. Let's have a quick look at the mark scheme. So 5A, the recording is more accurate or closer to the original. Okay, so the song will sound better and be closer to the original. We've covered that there. We have one drawback of using the higher sample rate. So the file will be larger. So the file size, that's fine. We covered there. Or, as I mentioned, you'll need more storage space as well. Okay, part C. So we've got the sample resolution is the number of bits that are used per sample. That's the first bit there. Apologies, the graph is covering that. And then they've got here that provides the variation in amplitude that can be stored for each sample. And amplitude just means the height of the waveform. So we've just said the height of the sound wave or the height of the waveform. So you could draw a little chart if you wanted to. So that's fine. So amplitude just means the height of the waveform. So number of bits for each sample defines the height of the sound wave at at a particular point. And then lastly, we've got lossless compression for that one. Okay, so thank you very much. I'll stop this one and then we'll do question 6.